What's going on, everybody? John Eric Pauli here with My MMA News, and today's guest will be fighting Jamie Pickett at UFC Vegas 78. That fight date is August 12th. Joined today by Josh Fremd. Josh, nice to see you, man. Thanks for doing this. Really appreciate the time.
Hey, no problem, man. It's great to be on here. Thanks for giving me a platform to speak.
No problem at all, man. And really looking forward to today's conversation. I actually want to start off today's interview by going back to your last fight. Special moment for you in your career, picking up your first career UFC win. Just talk about what that was like, what that moment was like for you. I'm sure it's obviously a dream of yours that had come true probably since the time you got into the fight game. Just what were the emotions like afterwards and everything like that?
Oh man, it was euphoric. It was when I was in the back doing the interviews and everything. It felt like I was floating almost. It definitely was a dream come true. It's everything I've wanted and more. So I'm ready to go out and replicate that feeling again.
And being that it was the first career UFC win, how'd you celebrate that? Did you celebrate any other special way than you would any other fight, or pretty much the basic thing that you always do?
No, I had a bunch of my boys come out from college back in Pittsburgh, and we got after it. Had ourselves a night. Win or lose, I'm always down to have a good time. Obviously, Lord willing, I'm healthy afterwards. But yeah, standard procedure.
And for a lot of fighters too, getting that first one could be the tough one sometimes. A lot of people say often that it's like having a weight lifted off your shoulders and the pressure's off now. Do you feel that way at all now that you have that win underneath your belt?
I'd say the pressure's a little bit relieved. It's not completely off because this is the last fight on my contract. I want to stay a UFC fighter, so I want a new contract. I want to go win this fight, get my hand raised, and be here for a while. I'm not trying to be in and out.
Well, let's get to that next, point of your career here now. Then we'll talk about this upcoming fight. Obviously, training camp going on right now. You're starting to wrap things up there with camp. Just how's camp been going?
Man, it's been phenomenal. I don't really consider it a camp because I do this year round. We here at Factory X, there are no camps. This is an everyday thing. We're getting better. Only slightly. Certain things change when we have a fight locked in and a name and a signature. But it's been going great, man. I feel sharp. I feel fast. I feel light on my feet. And I feel like I'm ready, most importantly, mentally, to go out there and just show everyone what I'm all about.
And I know we opened up talking about the first career UFC win. Now we're talking about this fight. I do want to go back to the roots here for just a moment while we're talking along the lines of training and everything. Obviously, you're very happy out of Factory X right now, but the roots go back to Pittsburgh with the Mat Factory. Fantastic gym out there. Produce a lot of really high-level guys that have obviously most of the fighters do move on to bigger gyms and whatnot, but still what a great spot to start your career. Just talk about the Mat Factory a little bit, what it's meant to you, just being a part of that gym and getting you to this point now here in your career.
Well, not only is the Mat Factory just an amazing gym and group of individuals, three people who's had just a massive impact on me. I gotta pay homage to the guys before me who showed me the way: Chris Dempsey and Dom Mazzata. And most importantly, Isaac Greeley, the head coach there. Like, he took me in when I was going to Slippery Rock, and I traveled an hour down most nights by myself or with my friend Tom, and just got better every day. They had nothing but great things to teach me, and I'm forever thankful. And when I do go back to Pittsburgh, I make it a point to stop in.
Yeah, Isaac, fantastic guy too. A stand-up gentleman, that's for sure. It's been great getting to know him too over the years here. Let's talk now, though, a little bit more about Factory X. You've been out there, I believe you told me before we came on air, about 4 years now you've been out there in Colorado. Just how's that transition been to just going from the Mat Factory to Factory X and being a part of that great team there at Factory X? I'm sure they have to be pretty monumental to your career at this point so far as well.
It's been massive, and it's something that I wish later on in life, a couple of us bigger guys go back and create something like a Factory X in Pennsylvania. But it's been monumental. I've known from the jump, especially learning from Cody Garbrandt and all the Steve Mowrys of the world, like, you got to go somewhere bigger. You got to go be a big fish in an even bigger pond in a big lake. And that was me coming out here at Factory X. It wasn't the easiest transition, I'll be honest with you. these guys out here are tough. And I had no idea about the Western world, if you will. I'm from the sticks of Pennsylvania, so I didn't know much about cowboys and all that out here. So they kicked my ass for a bit, made me, it was either, you're going to either fold and leave or you're going to get better. Thank God I got better.
Absolutely. And now here we are talking now about the final fight on the contract. Opponent, Jamie Pickett. Let's talk about him a little bit now. Just what have you seen out of him as an opponent? What are you expecting on fight night?
I'm expecting a fast, explosive, tenacious guy. I'm expecting the best Jamie Pickett. I'm prepared for, he hasn't shown the greatest gas tank, but I'm prepared for his best gas tank. I'm prepared for his hardest punch, his most explosive sprints. And I'm going to take it. I'm going to smile, and then I'm going to break him. Plain and simple.
And this fight, all right, obviously a lot on the line for you. Let's talk about everything that goes into kind of contract negotiations now for everybody that's out there. So obviously step one is go out, get the win here on fight night. What happens after that? I know you're with a great management team. They have so many fighters on the roster. Do you just kind of leave everything up to them? Are you involved with negotiations? How's all that stuff kind of play itself out?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with probably the best agency in the game, Iridium Sports Agency. Jason House is the man, and I'm going to go do my job, and that's win the fight. I'm going to do it in devastating fashion, and then I'm going to let Jason do his job.
And for you, I know obviously a lot has to, this fight has to happen, step one. This contract situation has to happen, step two. But in terms of the year, when you're looking at it, obviously when you're in a position right now and you fight in August, it kind of puts you in one of those really weird spots because you fight now, then you could possibly get a fight in by the end of the year, or a lot of the fighters do get pushed back to that early part of 2024. What's kind of the rest of the year kind of shaping out like for you when you think about it? You don't even have that. You're not even thinking about that yet.
I haven't put too much stock into it, but if I get out of this fight healthy, I want right back in there. I want a new contract, and I want to fight one more time. I want to get 3 in this year.
Gotcha, man. And one other just fight question that I wanted to ask you too, just about with this fight here. Fights in the Apex. I know you're familiar with the Apex now. Fought a few fights there. I know obviously a lot of fighters do prefer the bigger stadium shows and everything like that, or the bigger arena shows, I should say. Just your thoughts on the Apex. Do you enjoy fighting there, or would you rather be in a big packed arena?
Man, I'd rather be in a big packed arena. I'm a professional athlete. I want to go out and entertain crowds. I want to entertain fans. But I understand it is what it is. At the end of the day, I'd go fight you in the parking lot of the Costco down the road. Like, I don't even care. As long as I'm getting paid and I get to do what I love, I'm happy.
All right, let's end talking a little bit about Pittsburgh here now. I know that you're definitely a big Steelers fan there. Football season underway. We can see behind me I have a bunch of Packers gear and everything. Do you have high hopes for the Steelers this year?
I have higher hopes for the Steelers than you do for the Packers, I'd say. But no, I have tremendous hope. I think that Kenny Pickett's going to have a Trevor Lawrence-like year. And he's just going to blow up this year. I think that, if Watt comes back and he doesn't have that injury that he had last year, that kind of just took a lot of wind out of our sails. But I'm excited. I'm always excited for football season. Can't forget, it's still baseball season. I know the Pirates aren't, I think they're about, 11 games back now. But finish the season strong. That's what we're hoping for.
I say baseball season's been a rough one for me too, being a Yankees fan here. They're definitely underperforming. But as far as football goes too, I think the Packers this year, the season's definitely a question mark in a lot of different directions. But if they surprise people this year, I will not be surprised. Just putting that out there. You heard it here first. The other Pittsburgh question I wanted to ask before we wrap things up here today. I know everybody out there, for whatever reason, is coleslaw. Big fan of it there. Are you? I guess you probably have to be putting that on everything as well.
I wouldn't say I put it on everything, just because my grandma makes the best and all the restaurants have no idea what they're doing.
I know everybody says that the best slaw in the world, you got to go to Pittsburgh for it. So I believe that your grandmother makes a pretty banging recipe. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, Josh, really appreciate the time today. Just last thing before you head out, social media so people know where to follow you at. You have management or sponsorships that you got to plug. Anybody like that? The floor is yours. You get the last word here today, man.
Appreciate it, man. It was fun jumping on here. I have heard some of your interviews before with Dalton and all that. I think you do a great job. Shout out to my team at Factory X. You guys have been awesome. I am excited to go out here and show just all the hard work I've been putting in.